Hello and welcome back to Fireside Improv Chapter 22 of this Karl Franz saga, where Karl Franz is now happy with the southern parts of his empire. There are still dwarves around administering the provinces, but at least there are no greenskins. There are no Skaven, there are no vampires corrupting the land. It is something he is able to deal with for the time being, but now he is starting his march north to deal with the plague lands that are oozing yellow and greens. They're going to have to be cleansed if he is going to march on forward and help the northern parts of the empire that are under assault from several hordes of demons and Norskins.
On march!
He knows that Altdorf needs just a little bit more treasure lined up in order to upgrade the infrastructure one more time so that he can start to bring more and more riches into the empire, as well as great weapons of war that have not quite seen the light of day just yet. Thorgrim Grudgebearer, who just helped the emperor deal with a greenskin incursion, is offering some riches in order to have military access. Thorgrim doesn't currently claim any of the emperor's territory, and so the emperor is going to accept that offer. Altdorf is now being upgraded to another layer of grandeur,
I am a supreme patriarch.
and Balthazar Gelt is being allowed to bring on a few more soldiers to help in that defense in the north. The Emperor is hoping he can hold out as much as possible until he can arrive. Ralph Koch is also just about ready to march out again. He's taking stock of the current situation. He knows Festus, who defeated him previously, is nearby, but the army is still licking its own wounds from that valiant fight. Another army is further on, but it is going to take at least a little bit of time to arrive all the way back to Krugenheim. So Ralph Koch is going to go after Krugenheim and start the purging process.
Praise be to Sigma.
Meanwhile, the Emperor is going to make it to Wurtbad in order to then loop around to Kemperbad. They're going to try to take these plague lands as quickly as possible. The demons launch their next assault over on the city of Arn now. Again, their forces are too great for the defenders to withstand, and they do fall to the demonic horde. The Wasteland has not had much luck between the spirits of Athelorn coming out under Durthu and now the demonic horde. It truly is a wasteland full of war and despair. Festus made the decision to move deeper into Emperor territory Ralph Koch is going to
Sigmarite
turn around
Archlector,
to see what
ready
he can
to
do
serve.
to intercept him, as well as the Emperor on the other side. The hope being to
My
box
orders are
him
to
in
move.
so that he has nowhere to run. The Emperor takes
my lord.
stock of his coastline that has begun to fall. Magnus Blaze should have enough to hold Gorsel for a little while,
Praise be to Sigmar.
but he is going to have them construct a guardhouse just to be sure. Otto von Pupelscheit will not have enough to hold out himself. He's being allowed a bit to hold off against
You'll incur
the
my
demonic
displeasure.
army, but it is unlikely that he will be able to hold Wrecker's
Ready.
Point. The hope is on Dirtenschaffen, and Salzenmann Balthasar Gelt will need to do his best to hold off everything that is in the north until reinforcements can arrive. Festus continues to march further into Empire territory. The attempt to box him in was not quite enough, as the Emperor can't quite reach him. Ralph Koch is being sent to take out Kemperabad, with the hope that the other demonic army does not come back down south and is held up by Valmir von Rauken. However, in another attempt to box in Festus, the Emperor is ordering Bruno Haupt Anderson to raise an army, or raise himself, at the Moot to try to box him in from a bit further away.
I will marshal the men. The nation calls.
Festus does go ahead and attack Bruno. The Empire forces out of the Moot come to help him, and they are able to take down Festus, the Leech Lord. With the army defeated, Bruno is allowed to go on his way for now until the next time he is ready to be called.
What?
And the Emperor is free to start marching back and purifying the Plague Lands along with
Praise be to Sigmar.
And together they will ultimately march on to Labheim. The city of Kislev has been razed by the demonic hordes. The land is nearly fully corrupted. The last power base of Tsarina Katerin is a little further to the south. She still has some power left, but if she can't turn it around soon, then the northern part of the empire will be vulnerable to even more demonic incursions.
Archlector.
Meanwhile, Ralph Koch is going to be able to march a little bit closer to Kemperbad. Much of his force is being lost on the march, as the land is still highly corrupted. They're doing their best to cleanse the land, but it will take some time before it is actually safe to travel.
Are you?
in order to help reinforce the north. The Emperor does bring on Leopold Feuerbach, Battle Wizard, to send him north and help hold at Wrecker's Point.
Who calls?
Otto von Peoplescheit is also going to be replaced by Theodric in order to help hold that. Theodric is a man of Nordland, a man of the north, and he is going to do anything he can to help hold that territory.
So?
Cormac Dowybreaker has also shown his face, declaring himself as a demon prince, a great demon, leading one of the great hordes that has been coming down from the north. Unfortunately, there are no armies prepared to go directly with him if he chooses to attack the city of Middenheim or Middenstag. Ralph Koch is able to take on Camperbad and defeat the Norskins that were settling there.
Honored to serve.
The Emperor knows that there is still great hosts north of him. He does not wish to challenge them without Ralph Koch at his side. It is also very dangerous to continue to march along those roads, so he is going to wait until it is safer and he can go in force. Thorgrim Grudgebearer returns with another offer, this time to give some coin in exchange for a non-aggression pact. Again, the Emperor does appreciate Thorgrim's help against a greenskin incursion, as well as him not holding any territory in the Empire. He is going to continue to build that friendship. The demon army has finally moved out of Arnau down towards Magnus Blaze in Gorsel. Leopold is going to do his best to join them, but it is unlikely he will make it in time. Magnus is going to have to deal with the threats with what he has.
Honored to serve.
Gorsel is not entirely undefended. He may be able to pull off that victory.
True servant of Sigmar.
There aren't much more that you can pull out to have an immediate defense, but he's going to try his best.
Sigmarite Archlector.
The Emperor is pained to wait before moving against the remaining strongholds of the demons in the Plagued Lands. But Ralph Koch's force needs more time to recover. The land needs more time to be purified before it is safe to travel quickly. He doesn't want to simply march and wind up losing the entirety of his forces. It's better to wait than be defeated, but if he is too slow, he won't be able to march against the threats that are running wild through the Empire. In the end, he decides that he cannot wait. He orders Ralph Koch to make haste so that they can join their forces together and move against Talabheim. The demons do launch their attack against Gorsel. Magnus Blaze is going to defend as much as he can against them. He has the numbers advantage, but he is not so sure about the quality of his soldiers to be able to stand firm against the horrors that are streaming out of the north. The Demon Lord marches into the city slowly with his demon hosts, looking to slaughter anyone that would stand before them. The demons do attack from all sides. The Empire hopes to be able to hold the main force at a crucial bridge crossing, while the smaller forces are able to be defeated in the city streets separately and then turn against the larger force. The plan fails miserably as the Empire's soldiers simply cannot stand before the onslaught of the demons. They are not elite soldiers equipped to deal with such horror. Ultimately, none of the flanks did particularly well. They all collapsed without even being able to think about the prospect of turning and helping against the main force. The demons did not take the city of Gorsel. They were content with sacking it and taking its riches, perhaps sending a message at what was to come, allowing survivors to spread the news.
Umber Wizard!
With that army lost of Magnus Blaze, Leopold is going to join up
Magic
with Eldred
untamed.
in case they do come
Praise
after
Sigmar.
the city of
I will
Marienburg.
marshal the men.
Ultimately, Marienburg is too strong of a city to be allowed to be lost. And in Altdorf, an engineer's workshop is going to be created so that they can bring out the strongest weapons of war they can devise, a steam tank. The demonic army has strayed a little bit too far while they attempted to continue to bring corruption to the land that the Empire has been purging.
Attack!
And the Emperor is going to march out to punish them for it. He decides that he can take on this force alone. And when he catches them, he does annihilate them. All captives are executed. Their blighted souls are too far gone to
Awaiting
heal.
orders.
Ralph Koch is given an
Following
opportunity
Sigmar's path. I live to serve the
to
Emperor.
rest and bring on a few more soldiers so that they can push together against Talabheim. Up in the north, Balthasar Gelt is also able to catch a army out of Norska that again strayed just a little bit too far.
No
He does
peace,
want to
just
catch
war.
them while he can.
I am
However,
ready.
he does not want
Are
to
you?
stay outside of the city of Sulzimund. It is
Wind of
ultimately
Sharon,
where he
I
needs
will.
to make his stand. Dirtenschaffen, they are so far content with staying outside and blockading it. Friedrich is also allowed to take on a few new soldiers, and another battle wizard is called forward in order to help him out.
Our paths have crossed. I shall pull them from the earth.
Friedrich is finally under attack at Wrecker's Point by a demonic horde. The Norscan army stays in the water in eyesight, but they do not join. Taking heart from this, Friedrich orders his men to stand firm. The flying demonic lord comes into the city using his magics to see the battlefield from above. Friedrich decides to concentrate his superior numbers inside the very center of the settlement in hopes that he can bog down the enemy so that they cannot use their forces to slowly frighten the Empire soldiers as they are apart. There is strength in standing together.
Beware the wizard! Outriders! Taking position! At speed! By Ulrich's Rock! To us, the foe! At speed! Taking position! See to it! We are Sigmar's heirs! Swordsman! Attack! Take the ground! Yes, sir! Quickly! Outriders! Take the ground! By Ulrich's Rock! Now! Swordsmen! Crossbows ready, General! To battle! Yes, sir!
Two of the flanks are successfully held off,
Ulrich's wolves charge with us!
leaving only one of the flanks remaining.
Come, lads! Slay 'em!
And ultimately, the demons were not able to stay in this world and were driven back. Friedrich successfully held off the demonic invasion at Wrecker's Point, but it was not without great cost. and the Norscan army that had been blockading the ports of the settlement finally decided it was time to make landfall, and they are primed to test the mettle of the Empire under Theodric again.